Hey everyone, this is Dr. Mark Schillinger, founder of the Young Men's Ultimate Weekend and Challenging Teenage Sons. The Young Men's Ultimate Weekend is a wilderness rite of passage initiation adventure camp for young men ages 13 to 20. And it gives them the emotional intelligence that they're going to need in order to make it in the young adult world. And this event has graduated thousands of young men, just like your son, who are great young guys, good hearts, good souls, who may be over-empowered, over-entitled, developing laziness, becoming disrespectful, and not cooperating. And it is a life-changing event for the young men. I'm also the founder of Challenging Teenage Sons, which is an organization dedicated to helping parents have more caring and cooperative relationships with their sons. Okay, let's get on to our Facebook Live today. The theme for today is the number one thing that parents and their teen sons really need. So, before I get into that number one thing, I want to give you a little prelude here, which is this. I really believe, now that I've been working with young men and parents for 25 years, that I see that we have lost as a culture the ability to challenge our teens, young men and young women, to really fulfill their true potential, to really be happy within themselves, productive in their community, and have a sort of a sense of well-being about their life and reality itself, for that matter. We've lost our ability to challenge young men to become more independent, to become more mature, to really find their way. And when I say challenge, I don't mean like being mean and angry and demonstrative and yelling. In fact, it's the opposite when I teach parents how to really motivate their sons. It's a way to arouse the natural, biological, instinctual desire that young men do have to naturally want to make it on their own. And I feel like we've forgotten that. And then on top of that, and in partly related to what I'm about to tell you, we've forgotten in part because we're developing so quickly into this artificially intelligent world, which is not going to go away, and I'm not saying it should. What I am saying is that most changes that human beings experience to undergo a major transformation to some new way of being can take thousands or tens of thousands of years. And here we are, like 20 or 30 years heavy into this era of informational technology. And not everybody is adapting as quickly as all these new devices are coming out. So parents are isolated from their sons are isolated from their parents. They may live under the same roof, but everybody's so addicted to these things. No judgment, it's just what's happening. So between our cultural forgetfulness to arouse young men to make it on their own, and between these digital devices and the influx of technology that's happening so quickly, we're all kind of isolated. So we're losing touch with our own children. That's really what's happening. So I want to give you the number one thing I think that can turn that all around. And that's this: rite of passages. We've forgotten how to challenge our young men, and young women for that matter, through the agency of rite of passage. So I started the Young Men's Ultimate Weekend 20 plus years ago to help improve the relationship with my son Gabe, which it did miraculously, and we're of course the best of friends now all these decades later, and we own a business together, and we just take care of our family together. So the Young Men's Ultimate Weekend is a rite of passage that basically tells young men it's not about your mom or your dad anymore. You're 13, you're 15, you're 18. It's on you now. It's a line of demarcation. It lets the young men know that letting go of their boyhood's important. It doesn't mean you can't be a boy sometimes. It doesn't mean you can't have fun. And simultaneously, you have to learn how to be responsible in your house, be responsible in the community. So if we, basically the deal we say at the Young Men's Weekends, if we help you discover who you are, your own values and virtues, and really be happy within yourself, and we simultaneously teach you how to become more resilient and responsible in your house and the community, is that a good deal? Would you do it? And they all say yeah. Because they want to go deeper into who they are. But they feel like if we're not showing them who they are in a good way, why should they contribute to the family and the community? That's what I hear from thousands, not dozens, thousands of young men. So the rite of passage wakes them up to this desire that they already have. And they love it. They love it. So the rite of passage for young men is invaluable. They learn a way of being, and they have mentors who care for them. And since the mentors are not their parents, they don't feel from the mentors that they have anything to be afraid of. They're not going to be punished. There are consequences, but it's done in a really healthy, positive, disciplined way. By the end of the weekend, those young men love our mentors because they have a way, they have a method for helping them. Now, I also mentioned that parents need a rite of passage as well. In this culture, parents must have a rite of passage. Why? Again, because they're so busy working and trying to keep ends together financially and try to keep the family together, try to keep their own life together, keep their health together, that parents are super busy too. So at the parenting weekend that I do, it's a rite of passage for them. They learn 3 essential things. Number 1, most important, they learn how to detach from their emotional attachment to holding on to their son as a boy. It's very beautiful, can be painful, and they go through a series of exercises to really let go so that they can get out of the habit of treating their son like a boy, which their sons do not respect at all. Number 2, we educate the parents how to inspire, how to motivate, and how to communicate to their son so that he naturally wants to be enthusiastic, is really what I want to say, about making it in the outside world, becoming more mature and more independent. And then the third main thing we do is really teach technology on how the parents can have more caring, cooperative relationships. Now, this combination of rite of passage for parents and young men is a huge success, so much so, I may have mentioned this on other Facebook Live videos before, but so much so that in November 2020, which is a little bit, almost exactly a year ago actually now, Lisa Ling from CNN featured our work at the Young Men's Ultimate Weekend at the Parenting Rite of Passage because she was impressed that we're really doing our best to help families get their lives together so that everybody can take good care of each other, cooperate together, and really spend the rest of their life together as a unified family. So the technology works, that we know. So here's what I want you to hear. I want you to hear from one parent, probably very much like you, who came to the parenting weekend, I think it was about 5 weeks ago, the end of September 2021. And her son also attended the Young Men's Ultimate Weekend at the same time. Here's what she said. Well, I just got this email a couple of days ago. This just in. Hi, Mark. Before the Young Men's Ultimate Weekend, my 20-year-old son was anxious about his life and what direction to go, and he said he wasn't ready to be independent and live on his own. He struggled immensely as a first-year college student to the point that he needed a total reset. And she's implying that the YMUW was the total reset. She continues, when I picked him up after the YMUW, I could tell there was something different about him. He didn't complain about a single part of the weekend and even said he would love to be a volunteer in the future. In the week that followed YMUW, we moved him into a new apartment. He applied for a job which he interviewed for soon after. He got the job on the spot and is now happily working full-time. And here's the key, paying his own way. He quickly adapted to the virtues and behaviors model that I learned from you at the Parenting Rite of Passage. And in fact, now we have great conversations about how the virtues and the behaviors that we value as a family. Thanks to you and your crew, we have a more cooperative relationship. She ends by saying, don't hesitate to send your son to this event. He will thank you for it at some point. He may not, by the way, and he probably will. Last few words, she says. Interestingly enough, Nathan just told me while we were on a hike that he quit playing video games, even though at one point he was definitely addicted to them. So I want to emphasize the need for rite of passage. On the next video, next week, I'm going to actually teach you how to put on your own rite of passage in your own home. Now, is it the same as coming to an event that I lead or the young men go to? Absolutely not. It's a structure that will allow you and your son to make this transition into young adulthood for him in a formal way. So I'm going to give you the basic elements for that next week. Until then, if you want to communicate with me, here's the best way to do this. I am always open to speaking to parents for free for 20 minutes. It's part consultation because parents usually ask me if I can help them, and it's part information. Like after speaking to parents for 5 or 10 minutes, I usually have some good advice I can give them that'll help them, even if I never speak to them again, right? And if parents are looking for a coach or a mentor, which is what I do for parents and their sons, then I get the information I need during that call, and I can really determine if my skill set can help parents like yourself. So give me a call. Here's how you can reach us. You can email us at info@challengingteenagesons.com, info@challengingteenagesons.com, or you can call us at 415-785-8818, 415-785-8818. I hope to speak with you. It's always enlightening when I speak to other parents. I learn a lot, and I know I teach a lot, so it'll be a great experience. And until next week, thank you so much for watching this video. Bye-bye.